Hello everyone, welcome to our brand new episode of MNH Intellect platform. Today's topic is about immigration to Canada via express entry route. Nowadays lots of people want to move to Canada due to standard of living and the standard of education. So I would like to go through a step-by-step process how you can apply through the Canadian government website. So let's start how you can apply.
Okay, so to start the application of express entry for Canadian immigration, I've opened the page of the website canada.ca. I'll copy the link of this page into the description of the video as well, so you can open from there and follow step-by-step process with me during this video. So let's start the process. So just to clarify here, first of all, the overall process of applying Canadian immigration through the express entry is quite easy, very simple process, and you can easily apply online yourself. So you don't need any sort of support from any consultant or anyone working on your behalf, and you don't need to spend money paying someone to apply on your behalf as well. So it's quite a simple, easy process. Within no time, you'll be able to submit your application and then obviously wait for your invite from the Canadian government. So as you can see on this page, there are a number of steps needed for express entry application, but there are first two most important part because you have to submit your application. They are the two most important part, and they're very simple. Within no time you can do that. So the first step is to find out the eligibility. So you need to first of all check whether you can apply for express entry or not based on your profile, your qualification, your language ability, and your age. And then once you're eligible, then you check your score, which is a comprehensive ranking system, CRS. That's what you need to find out, because based on that you'll be given immigration to Canada. So in this video I'm going to cover the first step to find the eligibility. So anyone in anywhere in the world coming with a family or with a spouse only or individually, they can find the eligibility in 10 minutes. They'll ask few questions online and straight away you'll see the results whether you're eligible or not. So is that simple. So let's start with the first part, which is about finding the eligibility, and it says you just need to answer a few questions to see if you meet the minimum requirement. Okay, so I click this and get into this page. So here, as it clearly says, you will need about 10 to 15 minutes to fill out this form, and you've been asked the question about your nationality, age, language ability, family members, education, work experience, and detail on the job offer. Okay, so now to start the process, I click on the check your eligibility button here, and it takes me to the form. So this is a form where you actually check by answering the question one by one. So the first question is about which territory or province do you plan to live in. If you don't know yet, choose a province or territory you are most interested in. So normally people obviously select Ontario because it's one of the most popular province, but you can select any and it doesn't make any difference at all for your application. So you can select any basically. So I'll select Ontario here and then click next. Now the second section, which is quite important section, is about your language ability. So here you need to submit language test results for all program under express entry, even if English or French is your first language. So regardless wherever you're from, you need to submit English language test results, and there are a number of options you can select. So I'm selecting IELTS and then go to the next part. So here the second section of the same question, the date when you take the test. So I can put the date in. You can obviously put the actual date when you actually taken this test. Just one thing to clarify here, if you have not taken any tests yet and you're planning to, so you can just select whatever the test you want to plan, and you can just put any date here just to check the eligibility first and understand the minimum and maximum score you need for IELTS or any other English or French language test. So it you can obviously use for that purpose, and it give you clearly, okay, you need a minimum 6, maximum 8, that kind of a range you'll be able to see. And then when you prepare for IELTS test, you'll do the preparation accordingly. So yeah, if you're not taking, you can just put any date here and then click next. So the third section of the same question is about the scoring of the IELTS test. So score of speaking, listening, reading and writing. So I'm just putting the number, I'm just putting 7 for all of them. You obviously, if you have taken the test, you put the real score here, and if you have not taken the test, then you can put expected results based on your preparation. You can just put the expected one to see whether it give you it make you eligible or not. If not, then you can come back and then increase your score until obviously you've been eligible. And then the next section, so the last section of language test part is about another test language results. If you have, so if you have taken any other test other than IELTS, you can obviously select that. If not, then yeah, just select no and go to the next section. So this is the first section which about the language ability is concerned. So that's we finished now. Now the second part is about the skill work experience, and the first section of that is the experience from Canada only. So I am assuming for this video, like people are watching at the moment, they are not in Canada, they never been in Canada, they never worked in Canada, and they never studied in Canada. So as someone applying from outside, so these the questions are not relevant to them, so you can just select none in both case because you never work in Canada. So we can move to the next part. Now in the next section here is asking about skill experience, but from anywhere in the world, so it's not specific to Canada. So now you can obviously put number of years of experience you have in a particular field. Most important thing here, it says in last 10 years, how many years of experience do you have? And it must have been a continuous. So it's a continuous work, paid, full-time, and in only one occupation. So for example, if I'm assuming someone have done the bachelor degree in 2020, and then after the graduation they started job, say they have 2 years or 3 years of experience now, but it's a continuous work. You might have changed from one employer to other, but there is no gap in between. So continuously working, paid full-time work, and this is from one occupation. So it's not a multiple occupation. Like if you are from construction industry or the construction business or construction field, then your experience is from that field. If you like 1 year you work in construction, other year you work in banking, so it will not be considered as a one occupation full-time continuous work. So let's make sure you do that. So we select, okay, how many years of experience? I'm going to select 2 or 3 years, so you can select whatever relevant to you. And the next most important part is about your experience in the last 5 years, but in the qualified trade occupations. So here is asking whether you have experience in qualified trade occupations, and those trade occupations have a certain NOC code. So NOC code is the National Occupancy Occupation Codes, and these codes are unique for each of the occupancy or each of the field or area you worked in. So these occupations will be included in this question 6220, and any occupation code beginning with 72, 73, 82, 83, 92, 93 and 6320. So you can check your NOC code, and if that NOC code is beginning with these codes or that, you can include number of year experience from that occupation in this section. So to check your NOC code, you can obviously open this in a separate window and check your NOC code as well. So here at the bottom you have a search list, So for example, if I'm putting the construction, if I'm from the construction business, I'm a civil engineer or anything related to that, so I can search that. I got all of the code for construction industry, and there is one code for the contractor and the supervisor, other construction sales, installer, repair and service. So if I've got experience from this one, and the code is 72014 and starting from 72, so this code I can use because beginning from 72, and I've got experience from this field because I'm a civil engineer and I'm been working as a supervisor in the construction industry. So I can use this code and say, okay, so all of my experience is from this code. So I can use that. If not, then obviously you can select no and then move to the next part. Okay, so it's related to the your work experience. Also, there is a question about certification or qualification from Canadian province or territory, but we already initially assumed like we people of us watching the video, they want to apply from outside, they've never been in Canada, never studied in Canada, so it still is irrelevant for them, so you can select no here and then move to the next part. Okay, so so that's obviously we've done from the qualification, from the work experience or the work experience perspective. We did the language, we did the work experience. Now this now another part is about the family members and the money you're gonna bring to Canada. So here in this question, just to check the eligibility, select the highest band, how much you want to bring in Canada. At the moment, I'm gonna select 20 to 24,000 Canadian dollar, and this is like enough for any family moving to Canada. So I select this for the time being. Obviously, money is a second stage. First stage for you to check the eligibility. So I'm not much worrying about that. So just select reasonable amount, and then how many family members do you want to have. So I select 2, for example, me and my wife. So you can add that. So this is how you can answer this question. Now I move to the next part. Okay, and you have a valid job offer in Canada. So if you have, that's good, the extra point for you. If not, then you can select no. You don't need to much worry if you don't have any, because there are points for each section separately. And move to the next part. Here is your personal question asking for your date of birth. So you can obviously put your date of birth here. And there also is a question about your qualifications. So what's your highest level of education for which you have earned a Canadian degree, diploma, certificate, or have an actual credential assessments. If you did not earn a Canadian degree, diploma, certificate, you may need to have a foreign education assessed by an agency approved by Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. They must show that is a valid and equal to completed Canadian credential. So basically what it's saying, you can you just need to select highest level of education, whether it is Canada or outside. If it is outside Canada, then you need to use the agency to approve your degree, obviously, which we cover later on, but it's a very simple process anyway to do that. At the moment, you're going to select the highest level of education you have. So if I'm just assuming like in 2020 someone who's done the bachelor degree and have 2 or 3 years experience, so I'm selecting the bachelor degree is the highest level of education. But still, if you have done masters, you can select master or doctor or PhD degree, then yeah, you can select that as well, and then click next. Okay, and at the last, you're just asking about quick questions, your ties in Canada. So I've studied full-time in Canada for 2 years. I'm assuming no at the moment. I have at least 1 year full work experience in Canada, so I'm assuming no as well. I have a relative in Canada, so I can click this because most of the people, lots of people basically have their relatives in Canada in form of parents, child, grandparent, grandchild, sibling, aunt, uncle, niece, or nephew. So you can obviously select, you might have some relative. If not, then obviously you can select none of the above. Otherwise, just click that and move to the next. Okay, so now it comes to your personal details. What's your marital status is. If you're married, then you can add detail of your spouses as well and get some extra points. Okay, so I'll select married and move to the next part. Now asking, does your spouse or partner plan to come with you, Canada? So we'll say yes. Is your spouse, partner, citizen, or permanent resident of Canada? So I'm selecting no as an assumption, and move to the next part. Now, related to the partner, as because there's a partner section, so we asking about all of the information, similar kind of information for of partner. So, has your spouse partner studied in Canada full time? Or assuming no at the moment. Has your spouse or partner work in Canada full time, 1 year or more? So I'm selecting no as well for that, and then move to the next part. Here, the final part of regards to your partner, and that's the English language or the French language ability. So similar to the previous section, when I see I'm filling my details of my English ability, so I'm gonna filling the information of my partner as well. So here, if you have taken IELTS test or you're planning to do IELTS test, just select IELTS, go to the next, then you select the date or date when you have taken this test basically. So you select the date, and at the end you put the score in as well. So I'm assuming my partner gonna take 7 10 as well, and then click next. Okay, so that's what I've done basically. So I've fill out all of the information about myself and my partner and some of the personal information in just 10 minutes, and now the results is in front of me. So based on your answer, you appear to be eligible for X%. So it says based on this information, I'm eligible, and it being given a reference number, which obviously I'm gonna use in next step when I apply for the CRS scoring. So that's my next part. So first stage is done. So anyone who's following this video can easily, fill out all the information within 10 minutes and find out whether you are eligible or not. If you're eligible, then I'll make another video, next video, about CRS scoring, which is the second stage. So we apply that. That's also very simple form. You can fill in 20-25 minutes, and then your exact score for your express entry application. So hopefully you like this video. At this point, anyone who have already gone through this process and you have successfully achieved the eligibility for the express entry, check my next video on the CRS scoring, so you can proceed with your application further. Meanwhile, any question in between, if you're stuck at any stage, if you need any clarity on any of the questions, you can do write me in the comment section and I'll reply back to you as soon as possible. So hopefully it worked for you, and hopefully it's very beneficial video. Leave your comments and like and subscribe as well, so you can see all of the upcoming videos as well on this topic and other topic in this channel. Thanks a lot, and speak to you soon.